Larry, I am so proud of you. What's up, YouTubers of the world? Making Geek Mixer here, ready to give you guys this week's episode on the Doom Patrol called Fancy Patrol. And why was it called that? Well, maybe it had its few different reasons why. Because when I first learned about it, when I saw the promo of it last week, I thought it had something to do with Rita giving all this drama exercise things for Cliff. And it turns out the reason she was doing that because, well, Cliff's daughter, the one who he found out was alive all this time, and that guy, I keep forgetting his name, but he was the one that caused all this problems with Cliff when he was still a human being and alive back then, and who was now Claire's father. Well, he died, and he decided that he needed to go see her and comfort her. Well, and first off, I'll just let you guys know straight off the bat, he didn't tell her who he was. But that's pretty much, though, what led into Rita giving him all these drama exercises to how he should approach this. Oh man, crazy. But I will say, it was great to finally actually see him meet his daughter, even if he didn't say anything. And it was a good cover that they did right there, of Cliff having to be a guy in a costume here, not really like an actual robot man. Because think about it, if they knew he was an actual robot man, and then they're at a place where they're having a little wake thing, well then, yeah, that would cause problems there. But also, I was loving the fact in the sense that we were seeing Rita and who she was. We're learning and what Rita's been trying to do ever since she's decided to let go of Rita Farr. She's trying to be who she was back with her real name. I forget what that was, but all we just know is she's trying to be who she was before she was Rita Farr. And all I'll say is she's off to a pretty good start. The way she associated with that guy in the bar who was a good friend of that other guy's. Yeah, she's off to a pretty good start. And it was great to see how she was not gonna leave Cliff, even though there was this things in this one scene where she and Cliff were in the swamp and she just kept going for him. To be honest, I was gonna be shocked like crazy if she actually started walking into that swamp along with Cliff there. But even the fact that she would take that boat and go with them still, man, she is dedicated, man. Yeah, I'm not sure if back when she was Rita Farr, she would have ever done something like this. But this is really showing how much she's growing as a character from the Rita Farr person that she was for what we knew at her back from the beginning of the episode all the way into the Doom Patrol episode where they met the original Doom Patrol. Man, I cannot tell you how proud I am of that. April, she just kills it with her acting. It makes you want to fall in love with that woman and her acting and how well she does with it. I'm telling you guys, I don't know what more to say about Rita on that end. But why don't we just go ahead and go into Cliff's time here. So Cliff, whoa, man, you knew when he was going to be having to see his daughter, and the fact that his rival ended up adopting his daughter and adopting her when she was 18 and everything, and then finding out about this watch that he gave to Claire when she was little and stuff. Excuse me, guys. But yeah, and the links he went to get it back from that alligator and then give it back to her. Very, very, very brave and noble of him. But like I said, guys, he didn't exactly talk with her. I mean, he had a little talk with her when he helped her stand on a stool so she could give out a speech during the wake and everything. And then he returned back and gave the watch back to her at the end of the episode when she thought he was going to stay so he could help, so she could help him with like what he wants for something to eat. And who knows, it looked like he was going to stay there at first, but then he decided against it. But during this time when he went into that swamp and before that alligator would attack, oh man, did Cliff go into that psychotic breakdown again, and I just was I couldn't stop staring at my screen when I was hearing that. I don't know how this guy does it, but he kills it when he goes into that psychotic breakdown. I'm telling you, man, it's insane. Just completely insane, and I love it. I love it. Doom Patrol and their acting, this is what just makes it all so beautiful here. And then, but that was for Rita and Cliff on their side of the story. And a small little side of the story, you got Crazy Jane and Cyborg, who actually got this time to actually connect with each other here. So it turns out that yes, it looks like it's going in that spot. Grid is becoming a separate being, almost to becoming its own self, probably into that antagonistic role. Because if y'all know, like in what's that? I forget what they are called. I can't remember. They're those Earth 3 guys. I can't remember what their name. Oh yeah, the Crime Syndicate. The Crime Syndicate. Yeah, and then in the New 52, Grid was part of the Crime Syndicate. He was that cyborg, and he's been in the Injustice. He was in Injustice 2. So it looks like he'll play, if I'm not mistaken, he may play a major antagonistic role in this, at the end of this first season of Doom Patrol. Speaking of which, are we going to get a second season? Because I've been hearing about those things about DC Universe with cutting off on Swamp Thing earlier, and that makes me worried about what's going to happen with some of these other seasons, such as Season 2 of Titans and whatnot. So I just wanted to throw that out there real quick before I went on. But it's not only just that. Yeah, you see, I'm thinking Mr. Nobody had something to do with Grid, maybe. That's just a hypothesis. But considering after the last time Cyborg met Nobody and was in his and Rita and Larry's head, I'm guessing that's how Grid is becoming this separate being. That's just my guess on that end. But also, during this time they were going out there, like, first off, we already know about Crazy Jane. She wants to find the chief so she can know on if the chief was really going to do to him what he did to the Doom Patrol after what happened with Mr. Nobody. And it was good to see her actually wanting to be on the actual mission this time, and she's the actually one saying, let's all get together here. She's the one who called that meeting there. But also during the mission, we also learned of those bureau guys, the ones who were in the Danny the Street episode. Yeah, it looks like they're still not stopping yet, especially after when they saw Cyborg, which leads into next week's episode, and I'll get to that after I finish my review here. But all I'll say is, I can't help but think that Nobody's also working with these guys. Like, they're connected with Mr. Nobody. Somehow, some way, but I don't know how. Mr. Nobody, and not to mention his powers of the reality and how he can just be in people's head, he might be influencing this guy somehow. Or they might know about him and be working with him. It could be either one on that end. But now let's go into the breakout star of this episode, and that was with Larry. You guys know Larry. From the very beginning this series started, there was nothing new or much different with him other than learning more about his past and how he's not trying to put any effort into doing anything while Negative Man wants to. And we're finally seeing the thing here we've all been wanting from Larry to begin with, and that was to finally move on. We get it. He lost so much and everything, and he's been isolating himself for so long, he doesn't realize how much the world has changed from the world he lived in, back when he had to hide the fact he was gay, or else he might have been persecuted or killed for it. Because no doubt that happened back in the times of when Larry was young and when he was older and was married and stuff. He would have been persecuted badly in a way. Maybe some might have even threatened to kill him with that. But nowadays, people are more accepting, not as bear in mind, in the real world out there are still people out there who aren't accepting of gays or lesbians or trans or bis, but for the majority of people I've met, they're okay with it. some of them will even openly admit they're gay. I mean, for trans people, some of them are still having a hard time to open that up, because that one's still a bit of a issue to some people out there, at least some of the people they might have met. And if I ever, I'm gonna, on a personal note here, I'm gonna just say it straight out. If I ever met someone who was trans and I would have my suspicions about it, I'm not gonna let it straight out. I'm gonna just stay quiet and wait till they trust me enough to actually admit it. And that's how I'll just be with it, because I don't care what they did with themselves. All I care about is them as people. If I like them, they're cool. If I don't like them, well then I don't like them. And it's not because of that. It's just because there's something about them I just don't like. And that's just how it is in the real world. But definitely, yes, it was great to him to finally go and see his ex-boyfriend and finally put closure to that and move on with his life. Maybe now he'll be a little more opening with helping the team out now that he's finally moved on, and with the fact that his ex-boyfriend let him know in that dream that the world's changed. You don't need to necessarily hide it anymore. I mean, you can, if you sometimes need some privacy, go ahead, take your privacy. That's fine. That's all nice and good. But at the same time, there are clubs out there where gays can go to, and they can be as open as they want about them being gay and dancing with each other. That's all fine. And hey, like, maybe not out there in some public places do you want to do it because some people will stare. And yeah, I can get that. You don't like being stared at and everything. But then there are other places where they'll notice that, yeah, these people are a couple, and yeah, they're gay or lesbians, but they're not going to mind because that's their lives and it's all good for them. That's what if it makes you happy, that makes you happy. So hopefully, as he's going on and moving on in his life now, finally will he not only open up more with his team and be more friendlier with them, but he'll also be able to communicate more with Negative Man inside of him. Because after what Negative Man did for him, this really shows that it looks like they might be finally getting on a ground to where they can conjunction with each other much better and help the team out even more better than ever before. But definitely, guys, what an episode, what a way to go, and what a way to finally get Larry on the grounds of moving on and being able to put his past behind him about hiding and everything. I can't wait to see now what Larry will do, and I am so excited for it. Doom Patrol, man, guys, do not, if you guys are not seeing this, you must see it. Yes, start from the beginning and go all the way from each episode from there. Yes, if you are not subscribed to the DC Universe, please do, in order to see the full episode, the full acting of all these characters, and how the story is so structured, and the fourth wallness that Mr. Nobody brings. This is an awesome show where almost every episode just keeps you more and more invested in it and wanting more and more. It's almost to the point where even I'm going to admit I don't want the series to end. I'm pretty much already saying that right now because every episode, not one has disappointed me. This is how great Doom Patrol is, guys, so I definitely recommend it. But that'll be all for today, guys. I've gone on long enough, and now if you're enjoying my videos, all you gotta do is click that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon to be notified when I make more videos. And until then, Mega Geek Mixer signing out. Bye!